So this video is about, do you love yourself, but you don't think you're worth it? The reason I say that is because you can love someone or something and not think it's worth it to go after or to fight for or to take care of, right? Your worth or the worth of something doesn't always have to be, oh, well, it's zero or it's so much money, right? Something could be $1 and you're like, it's not worth it because I don't need it. But something else you can say is $1 million. And you can say, well, yeah, no, not worth it. I don't even have $1 million. And if I did, I wouldn't be spending it on that. So even the idea of something's not worth it doesn't always necessarily mean you don't love it, right? You can love something, you can love something and not think it's worth it. You can hate it and not think it's worth it. Thinking something's not worth it has more to do with the time and energy you want to put into it. See, that's the better way of saying it, right? And so what happens as people is we'll love ourselves, but do we want to put the time and energy into ourselves? It's like when you're supposed to be working on stuff and people say, invest in yourself. You know how many people don't know how to invest in themselves? You know how many people don't know how to relax or take care of themselves? Because we're built in a society that tells us that's not important, okay? Because your self-worth is tied to your career, to your money, instead of your self-worth being tied to your self-love. So let's unhook that, put it where it goes, and then understand that your self-love always helps you, because the more you love yourself, the better you're able to love others and actually teach people how to love you, right? If they don't know that stuff pisses you off or that you like certain things, how can they know when whatever they're doing is affecting you? So we be loving ourselves. Oh yeah, we love ourselves, but do we think we're worth it? You gotta make sure you think you're worth it based on your self-love and on your character for yourself, right? Do you have unconditional love for yourself? Which means I don't care what I do, I will always love myself. I don't care how great or how bad I do in this life. I'm always gonna love me. Okay, so I unconditionally love me. But then on the conditions of loving me, I need to take care of me. And so when you have high self-love with high self-worth, you're able to not only discern what is for you and what is not for you, but then also have compassion for other people while they're going through that struggle as well. Because you understand that it is a struggle. It can be. And it's because we're all living in this world together and we're getting a lot of similar messages. So it's not all on us. And I think when I was talking to a friend of mine, because I had a little monologue with myself about this, and then I had a dialogue with a friend of mine. And I was like, yeah, don't blame yourself. It's not like you purposely woke up one day and was like, I'm just not gonna think I'm worth it. No, you are bombarded with advertisements that tell you you ain't shit. You need to buy my thing so then you can be better, right? So when actuality, commerce is supposed to come from, it's hard being a human out here. So anyone creates some stuff that makes it better to be a human or easier to be a human, thank you, right? Because we need that, right? And so not, let's make people feel shitty so they'll buy stuff. No. Life is already shitty. You don't need to add shit. You don't need to add more. Okay, people gonna need stuff. They gonna buy you stuff. Just have better advertising about what your product is. You don't need to make everyone feel bad in order to buy your stuff. But we're living in a society like that. So you have to understand, it's not you, boo. It's not you. It's not you. So I was like, let me bring it back. So in knowing what you know now that I've let you in on this secret, right? I want to let you know something else. So with the 5 love languages, we got, what is it? Quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service. Did I already say quality time? Yes, I did. Physical touch, gifts. Okay? Hey. She said all 5. What's up? Okay, so once you understand which one's your top priority. Now, I notice with a lot of people, they might have like a top 2 or a top 1. I preferably like to rank them of importance, right? Like, these 2 are the top ones, but this one's the top one. You know, but this is the bottom one. So that way, if you ever do that one for me, I will appreciate it. It's just not the same. It's like that first one. That first one is going to just get me there. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel so loved. I feel so loved. Like, guys really love me. Anyways, okay. So that moment. And so when I brought up, I had a dialogue with a friend of mine. I had a monologue with myself. I was a theater kid. So quality time for me is my top love language, right? So I just love talking with people. I love when we're just in a room, we're sitting on the couch next to each other, and we're just like, yeah, blah, 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 and this happened, and and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 whatever. Boom, 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 boom. So I forget that I'm a little bit of an introvert, and when I hang out with people too often for long periods of time, I get scared because I don't want them to know that I talk to myself, because I think that is weird. You know, and I know other people, like my AP psychology teacher in high school tried to tell me, like, yeah, I have a chat with myself in the car before I come to school, and I just talk about what I'm going to do for that day, and what are my goals, or, things I'm thinking about. It's like my little to-do list. I get all that out. I remember my dad used to always do that. And, I've known other people, we just have these little chats out loud, and I didn't realize when I have my monologue, okay, I'm just having a chat with myself. That's me showing myself my love language of quality time with myself. You see it, right? So I showed myself love by having a chat with myself, right? And then I was able to talk with someone else, and I had a dialogue. The 2 of us were talking. And now I'm sharing my love with someone else, and they're reciprocating it by talking back, right? So I was like, great. So when you're finding out your love languages, it's so great, because then you're like, oh, this explains why I used to do this. This explains why I used to do this, because quality time is my thing, right? So if you were giving me quality time, I was just like, I'm getting so much love from you right now. This is too much, but I like it, but I don't know. It's like a whole thing. But then if I'm hanging out with you so much and I'm not giving myself the love, I feel weird. I feel like I'm uneasy. And I didn't know that, And so when I was younger, I used to have this boundary in college that people weren't allowed to stay with me longer than one night, or stay at my house longer than 3 days in a row. And that really helped me. But when I dropped that boundary, so many weird things happened to me. And then I realized later that was why. That was a big one. I have to have those chats with myself, and I need no one to be in the room. I literally need no one in the room. I get a certain type of way if people lurking around corners and listening to my interpersonal thoughts. So I feel, so that made me realize, like, that's a vulnerability. I don't like to deal with that. That's why I love. And so physical touch was another one that a lot of people were like, well, how do you show yourself physical touch other than masturbating? And it's like, well, technically, you can self-massage. I knew a lady who used to self-massage, and she was like, it's everything. These young kids don't know. I'm grown. Let me tell you, self-massage is everything. How do you think I look this young? And I was like, really? And she was like, yes, because girl, I'm blankety blank. I was like, what? Okay, I believe you. So she's like, I go to masseuse too, but I also self-massage. I self-soothe. And I was just like, wow, next level stuff. And so, but also like taking a bath is another one. Eating pleasurable food is like another one. Like, there's so many things you can do. That has, like, exercising for some people is like another one. So yeah, different people are different, but there's just something for everything. So affirmations. So words of affirmation might seem, you with a partner, you're saying, yeah, you're so great, you're awesome, you did that, and like, you can be anything you want to be in this world. Like, you know what I mean? You're beautiful, you're lovable, you know, you're brave, like whatever cute stuff that person needs to hear in that moment to help with that motivation, to give them the drive, to give them the fire, to help them keep going. You know, you're there with it. So if you need that for yourself, then you usually need to have affirmations around. You need to be having Post-its and stuff on your walls. Have those affirmations. You're the kind of person who's to wake up and it says, I am beautiful, I love myself, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? You need to have that affirmation in the mirror with yourself, right? Yeah, you just gotta do it, because you won't be right if you're not telling yourself that stuff. If you hear from someone else, it's gonna sound weird. You're gonna be like, who are you talking to? Why are you telling me that I'm awesome? I'm not. Right? You're gonna feel weird about it. But if you're telling yourself you love yourself, someone else say, you be like, yeah, because I'm awesome. And thank you. You love me too. I love you. Right? Like, it's gonna be so much better. What's our next one? Gifts. Okay, so gifts. So maybe if you're a person who's like, I love gifts. I love when people give me gifts. And it's so great. You can give yourself little gifts, right? You can say, you know what? There's this thing I don't want to do. And because sometimes people do this with children, right? Like, if you eat all your vegetables for a week, or if you get all A's on your report card, you get this thing, right? So you can do that with yourself. You can be like, oh, I hate cleaning, but if I clean, I am going to get myself some boba tea later, or I'm gonna get myself, you know, this cute little keychain I saw the other day. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, you'll just buy yourself like something, a cute little thing. Like, it doesn't have to be expensive, but just something cute. Like, get yourself a little gift, right? I love how I said it, like, just get yourself a little gift. Okay, and then what's our next one? I was like, let me pull out the notes, y'all. I'm being so unprofesh. Okay, acts of service. So with acts of service, then doing stuff for yourself, like running your own errands, right? Like, you know how you're like, ooh, I need to go get groceries, I've been putting it off, like, I need to go get a car, like an oil change, you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff you gotta do. There's like errands that you need to run or something, or there's things you need to do. So you do those things for yourself, and then you might be the kind of person who loves doing that for people. So like, I know with people, then that's the kind of situation where you're the kind of friend who's like, do you need me to get you anything from the store before I come over? Do you have that friend? Like, they're an acts of service kind of person, right? They're always trying to do things. You know what? You're busy. Do you want me to take out your trash for you? Oh, thanks, boo. Yeah, I got you. That person likes acts of service, right? Because they're just trying to serve people. They're just trying to like do things for them, right? Yeah. So if you are a person who, you know, that's your love language, you need to make sure you do those acts of service for yourself, because again, you need to have that two-way street with your love language. You need to be doing it with yourself, doing that with other people. Okay. So I wanted to go over that real quick. Well, it wasn't quick, it was long. But I feel like y'all got the message, right? You understand what a love language is and what they are. So if you understand that, you're using your self-love, you're loving other people. So we got our self-love, we got our other people love, okay? Now when it comes to worth, do you think you're worth it? A lot of times if you don't think you're worth it, you will not try to do your love language for yourself. You'll just try to do it for everyone else around you. That's another thing. And if you're not valuing yourself, if you don't value others, you'll just try to do it for yourself and not try to do anything for anyone else. So again, this idea centers around a lot of, if you know that, wow, I'm loving myself and others, then I have very high self-worth from, I know I'm just, you know, being that loving person towards myself and others. If your worth was tied to that, and then you just worked on that, right? Everyone would have much higher self-worth, because that's much easier to do. I hate to say that, but this career bullshit, the way of the world, the way of commerce, the way of investments, the way of blow on the stock market, and it shifts. Like, Don't tie it to that. Don't tie it to that. Do you know how fads work, y'all? Because think of a game you used to play when you were 12 that if you talk to a 12-year-old right now, they don't know what it is because it's a fad. And certain careers are fads, and certain careers are forever. And so even if you tie yourself to a forever career, how do you know they're not gonna get laid off in 5 years for just some dumb recession bullshit or something? Don't tie it to your money, y'all. Don't tie it to your career. That is what I'm saying. Don't do it. Tie it to yourself and your relationships, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with other people, your relationship with the earth, your relationship with your community. Trust me, you will feel much better. Oh my gosh, the anxiety and depression, y'all. The anxiety and depression, y'all. We are human beings. We just got technology 2 seconds ago. We do not understand how technology affects the human body. We don't get it yet. We're not. It's too young to know. So we gotta still kind of work off of the old way of this. There are certain basic concepts as a human being that you need, and I'm trying to tell you, these are basic human just needs. Like, you know what I mean? Like not as basic. Your basic human needs is like your physiological needs, aka the Maslow pyramid, and at the bottom it's, you know, like food, water, sleep, sex, your primal instincts, which I'm gonna do a video about that as well, about how our society is messing with us by making the pyramid upside down. They act like you got to be self-actualized to figure out the next step, and figure out this next step, to then finally get that shit together. No, it's like this. Get your basic needs, get your safety, get your social belonging, get your self-esteem, then you'll be self-actualized. You try to do it in a different order, it ain't gonna work, right? But nah, they be like, no, actually go find yourself, become self-actualized. You'll get all this self-esteem, and then you'll get all these friends, and then you'll feel safe, and then you'll finally be able to take care of yourself. Sorry, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. It don't. Actually, do I need to do another video? I just explained it. No, because I want to get more into it like I am right now. So, getting back onto this. Do you equate your worth with others? Do you show up for yourself? If you had a meeting with yourself, would you show up? If you had a meeting with someone else, would you show up? That's another good way of knowing, do you think you're worth it versus do you think other people are worth it? Okay, so these are like little ways to see, you know, ooh, do I feel this way? And then, oh, we all deserve great things. This is another thing. When you truly love yourself and others, the compassion aspect of understanding that, y'all, we all are fucking up all the time, constantly, then you'll be less mad at other people for when they're fucking up. You know what I mean? Like that idea of like, when you really truly know yourself, you'll know like you're not perfect all the time, and that other people aren't perfect. And so we're all out here flailing together, which goes back to my earlier thing about that's why it's annoying when people try to sell you things after they made you feel bad about yourself. Instead of just saying, y'all, it's hard being a human, and we're just trying to help each other out. I'm leaning on you, you leaning on me. We are leaning on each other, okay? Because we're flailing out here together. So technically that's why that's important. Also, the lie of scarcity. The lie of scarcity will get you every time. When you think there's not enough of something, you assume it's more valuable. That's how capitalism works. So if we don't have a lot of some, you know, mineral, it's expensive because there's not a lot of it. No, that doesn't mean that. It might be a bunch of it. It's just someone wants to sell it for that much. And in our society, the people who were selling it were usually people who stole it from other people's lands anyway. So let's not get caught up in that hamster wheel, right, of scarcity mindset, right? Poverty mindset. There's not enough to go around for everyone. Yes, we all deserve nice things. Yeah, that's what I said. There's not no 1 in a million deserves nice things. That's also a lie. Everyone is special. There are people out here that know that truth. And guess what? They don't want the competition. So they will try to keep you down in your career, aka glass ceilings, so you don't realize how special you are. Because if you do, what if it's better than them? That's a scarcity mindset. When you don't think it's room for all of us to do well. We all deserve to do well, and I bet you we all can. So yeah, so let's get into that. And that's how I know that to be fact, because we have people who hoard money. What's a billionaire but a person who hoards money? You're hoarding it. Why? Because you think it'll keep you safe and secure? Bitch, you can't take that when you die. So why are you holding on to it so hard? Do you think you can't make it back? Is it okay for other people to be starving other places and you're just sitting on billions? Like, so that idea, so that's how I know it's a problem. So it's not just like a poor people problem, right? We have rich people who are hoarding, just hoarding money. Like, what are we doing? Why do you need $20 billion? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make, like, it doesn't. It don't. But we continue to live our lives thinking that shit's okay. So that's what I'm saying. Do not tie your worth to money. There are people stealing and looting constantly and believing in scarcity. You will be feeling some type of way. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it. Okay? Tie your self-worth to your self-love. Also, one way to help with this is trust. When you have self-trust, when you trust yourself to get something done, then it's easier to feel better about your value. That's why sometimes people do like to finish tasks, right? When you finish a task, when you're mindful and you did it from start to finish and you completed it, then you're like, I can trust myself to do that again in the future. Same thing with other people. People show up consistently, or at least if they aren't consistent, they continue to show up. Then you can trust that, well, at least I know they'll show up, right? So again, like, that self-trust is really important. But say your self-trust is kind of low and you would prefer to be able to put your trust in other people. Well, then you have to understand that that person has to be trustworthy, because you can put your trust into someone who is going to try to lie to you, and then now you don't even trust yourself even more because you picked an untrustworthy person, right? So again, we gotta work on this, y'all. We gotta work on this. And and the reason why I say we is because I'm seeing this with more and more friends. I see this in myself. Okay, I'm in here. I'm in this with you. Okay, so all of that. So let's make sure that we know that we're worth it. It's not our fault that we think this way. Okay, we are in an outdated system. We can still be thankful to the people who were here before us, who tried this system and it worked for the hot minute for them. Well, some of them, not all. But it's not work. It just don't work for everybody, and it never has worked for everybody. But you know what? Nothing's ever gonna really be perfect. But what we can do is continue to try and make it the best we can, and the best it can be. And I don't know how many people knew computers were gonna come out, but they're here. So I believe that new technology and new things can be a thing. But you have to understand the perspective. If you're like, oh, technology has killed our generation because no one connects anymore. Okay, stop lying to yourself. You are a bad communicator, and it doesn't matter how many fucking devices we give you, you're still just a bad communicator. Because the fact that I can FaceTime with my grandmother means technology is popping, okay? It's good. But then I was like, oh wait, it's neutral, it's both. And it was like, true that. But also, y'all, we can't blame technology for our own shortcomings. Technology's neutral, right? If you're like me, I hate texting because I don't like communicating through words that I have to write. And it wasn't until I realized recently it was because I always was bad at spelling. I never was a good writer, but I was a good public speaker. I was always good at giving presentations in school. I was always really good at making a PowerPoint because there's bullet points and then I just do a presentation. You want me to write a 5-page paper? Go fuck yourself. So, me, personally, that's me, right? So, if you want me to text you, you're making me write to you. When I realized that, y'all, I almost hit myself in the face. I was so mad. I said, hold up. This whole time, you was like, can you call me, friends? Can you call me? Because you're talking. You hate writing. All this texting is just writing. And so it makes you feel like, oh, you know, I was never a really good writer. And you know, writing gives me anxiety. And why are you making me write to you? I hate this. Like, you know, it was like a whole thing. And so later I had to realize, like, but that's why we learn and we grow. Like, once I realized, you know, it's like, at first I was like, oh, I just gotta tell everyone I don't like texting. And then eventually I'll feel better about it because I'll accept it that this is a thing. I don't like to do it. And I think it's an extension of voicemail or whatever. And so later I started noticing certain friends would call me and other friends would text me. And so then I had to do less texting, less writing. So then I could focus all writing skills on that smaller amount of text and more on the talking, right, aspect. And so it was only until recently that I realized, yeah, but you never liked writing. That was not you. That's why I think about it. I don't have a blog, okay? This is a vlog. Okay, it's a video, right? So you gotta find your medium, right? Like, if you're an artist, that don't mean you just paint. You could be a performance artist. You can be a singer. You can be a dancer. Like, you can be a sculptor. Like, there's all types of art. You know what I mean? It's ways we express ourselves in different mediums. So going back to that technology thing, that's when I started to realize we have to think of that kind of stuff. Why? Because that ties back to that self-love. When I realized, oh, I just don't like writing, okay? I really don't like writing, and I will avoid it with every cost. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I will avoid texting you. Not because I don't like you, because I hate writing. Just don't like it. Call me on the phone, I can talk. Right? But I want the quality time, because it's my love language. And also, when you're texting me, there's like, I can go use the bathroom, do a text, go do something, do another text. It's not quality time. We're not having a by itself quality time moment. We're fucking doing other shit. You're not here with me, and I'm not here with you. This is not quality time. This is not giving me my love the way I want it. Like, so, again, when you start, so I'm using myself as an example, okay? But I'm just basically trying to say, like, use my example and take it for your own life, right? Take it for your life. What in your life that you realize, like, okay, this is my love language. This is how sometimes people fuck it up, and that's why I don't like it. And, you know, this is when people do it well, and that's when I like that, right? Yeah, so just continuing on that, finishing this up, wrapping it up. If you enjoyed this video and you feel like, wow, I need to share this with other people so they can know the kind of stuff I'm already on, and she's just confirming a lot of things. I love when, you know, it's just like, oh yes, confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. And then if you're a person who's like, nah, kid, like, I didn't know none of this, I just learned some shit, share it with people so then you can be like, y'all, guess what I just learned. So thank you so much for staying around this long, because really I just want to, you know, bring up of like why the self-love and the self-worth, and not tying it to money or career. Money is just a placement that we use to get, it's like a receipt or a note, right? An IOU sometimes. And it's nice to have a savings, right? If you were a farmer back in the day and you save some of your crop, that's because you got to eat off of it while you're making your next crop. So we like the idea of savings, okay? It's just that, why are you hoarding a bunch of stuff is why I brought up the billionaires. I don't have no issue with millionaires, and I have no issue with black billionaires, because of all the things that have happened to us. And so, but yeah, I do have an issue with this mindset of that because of scarcity, you want to try to grab as much resources as possible from other people and then make it where they cannot follow you up. Not true, not a thing. And then also depleting certain resources from certain areas to a point where they will almost become extinct because they are a little, because they take time to be made, basically, like palm oil and palm trees, you know, those ingredients is in so many products, but those trees actually take 30 to 60 years to grow. So, you know, messing up the farming processes for it is unhelpful, right? So it's not that it's in scarcity, it's just there's only a certain amount you need to, you know, harvest a year. But there's some other kind of substance that would do the same thing as palm oil. It's just you're getting stuck on this one thing. So that's what I mean by like the scarcity. You can either make something extinct just because you weren't taking your time with it. It's a tortoise and you're trying to be the hare with it. No. But then there's other things that is like, yeah, actually, that is abundant. It's not stopping anytime soon. Why are we acting dramatic? So that's why I don't tie it to that. You know, careers, like I said earlier, they can change, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Have different passions. It's just like a fun part of being human. But you take the fun out of it when it's like, well, if I don't know my career, I'm screwed, right? Now it's not fun. Finding your passion should be a fun journey, not a scary, paranoid filled, oh my gosh, I won't be able to eat if I don't figure it out, but I also won't be happy at the same time. And the idea that you can't have multiple ones throughout your life. So that's why I'm like, please, let's not tie it to those things. Those things are important. They're still helpful, but we're not going to tie it to that, okay? Tying it to the self-love, the self-worth. So that way you can see the worth of others and yourself. You can see the love in yourself and others, okay? Okay, so I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. I will see you soon. And if you, like I said, if you enjoyed this series, well, if you enjoyed this video, this is like a series and it has common themes throughout it. So you'll probably like the other ones. Cool. See you soon.